What's up, lightweights? Welcome back to the podcast. Today we have Natalie on for the second time, and no, we will not be talking about our love life. We will be talking about her, well, maybe a little bit, but we will be talking about her weight loss transformation that she has almost completed. It's been close to 4 months now. She's coming up on the last 2 weeks, and we're here to talk about how it all went. Welcome, Natalie.
Hey, thank
Damn,
you for
that was
having
a first
me.
take.
Yeah, that was really good. That was really good.
I'm on fire, man.
I'm really proud of you. When is this coming out?
All right, so the documentary comes out January 3rd. We had our first rendition that we saw yesterday. I'm super excited about it. And, yeah, I don't know. I just, whenever it comes time to do this, I get so fucking happy. Because, like,
it's finally over. All the stress.
No, not necessarily that. But it's more so that, like, all of what we've been working for has finally come to fruition.
Paid off, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm super stoked.
You've done 3 people now, and I'm really proud of you.
Thanks, man.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's really impressive. You changed 3 people's lives. That's really cool.
Yeah, well, I'm not just saying this. I really couldn't do it without them, like, doing it too, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And as hard as it is sometimes, and as rocky as the relationships could get, I
don't know why you're looking at me like that.
That's what I want to get into.
I still do think that it really is like a team effort, and I can't do it without them, and vice versa.
Is it hard working with Ilia? Like, because he's so focused on something?
Ilia and I definitely like went at it several times. I feel like I think the whole process is really difficult for anybody to begin with, because it's like you have to be so disciplined on your workouts and your diet, and I'm somebody that likes to just sort of, you know, bask in what I have, right? Like if I'm like traveling, or if I'm at home, or I stop by like Jimmy John's or something, like I want to get a sub sandwich and I want to have dessert with dinner and I want to do all these things, but I have to like limit myself. And also I was definitely like overindulging for a long period of time, which is how I got to not being my most healthy self. And now I feel great again. So I feel like in hindsight, it's great. But when you're in it, I'm just like, I literally want to I'm like just pissed.
Yeah. I was looking at the footage yesterday, the first day that we did it. The first day that we started the transformation, you were in the Zila gym.
Yeah.
And you look so different.
Yeah, I bet. I'm down like 25 pounds. I better look different.
That's insane.
It's crazy. I didn't even know. Thanks.
Seriously.
I didn't know that I even had like, I feel like I'm lucky in a sense where I feel like I carry all my weight pretty evenly distributed throughout my body. Obviously, there's some areas that had more than others, but because I feel like even in this weight loss, I've lost a lot of weight and I definitely look different. But I feel like at the same time, I have like maintained my same shape and same like figure. It's just gotten like a little smaller.
Have you been getting compliments? Like, have people been coming up to you and being like, "Man, you look really good," whatever?
Yeah, all the time now. Everyone's like, even my I go to my dermatologist like every 4 or 5 months or whatever for checkups, and she was like, "Oh my God, where did your cheeks go?" Like, she was like, it was so funny, and she was like, "You look so great. Oh my God, like keep up." She doesn't have like social media, so she's not really looking at what I'm doing, but she was. I've had lots of interactions like that now, which is pretty crazy.
So are you gonna, when we're done, are you gonna stick to it?
This is the big question. No, yeah, I mean, I definitely like plan on sticking to it for sure.
I think that you should. And number one, I want you to be healthy, obviously, and I want you to look good. And there's no lie about the fact that like when someone has lost weight, they look better, right?
Yeah.
Like, so I think that you sticking with it not only like proves to yourself that you could do it, but also like proves to other people that like once you get to a certain goal, you should stick to that, you know, not just like relapse and go do whatever you want again.
Yeah, totally. I think I think the whole fitness transformation as a whole like really is a nod to somebody's like motivation and determination
Totally
long term. So I feel like keeping that only, you know, I want people to know, right? Like I feel like it's a good first impression too when you meet someone that's even in business, right? Like if you meet somebody that's really healthy and in shape, it's like, oh shit, they got their life together. Like they know what they're doing, you know? So
yeah, and
it's just a good look.
And you'll recognize like you'll recognize how many people you will motivate once this doc is out.
Yeah.
Because it's pretty phenomenal. Like you'll see. I mean, like from Heath and John, they all the time, like they get compliments about how like they have motivated people to start their journey, you know?
Yeah,
and
totally.
you're the first girl. So I feel like
Yeah.
a lot of women will be empowered by this, you know? Cause again, like I know you kind of touched on this during your interviews, but like, it's not necessarily like all about like a weight, right? It's just about being mentally and physically healthy at the end of the day. I think that's like the most important thing that people don't recognize. Like, so.
Yeah, I feel like one of the biggest changes that I made through this whole thing is just like being consistent. And I feel like that's one of the most important parts of everything too, is like whether it's your diet or your exercise or whatever. Before I was so inconsistent, and now I am consistent, and these are the results that I've gotten. You know, it's not necessarily from like, you know, obviously we work out really, you know, a lot and hard, and my diet has been like more restricted, but I feel like it's not like unrealistic.
Yeah.
Right.
Has Todd said anything?
No.
He hasn't?
I mean, yeah, of course he like cheers me on, but he's like,
has he noticed?
He hasn't noticed.
Yeah, I'm like, I gotta text Todd, let him know. Hey, did you know Nat lost 30 pounds?
No, I don't know. I mean, Todd's always like, he's always been like supportive of me no matter what, you know, like even when I was a little thicker, like he just had more to grab. So I think he didn't, he didn't mind.
I mean, yeah. I mean, you weren't, okay, first off, you're a very pretty woman to begin with. So like when you were at that weight,
That's really sweet of you, man.
Thanks.
That was really nice.
I didn't think that like you were by any means like unattractive. It's just, you know, I think again, losing the weight and being mentally and physically capable of doing so is
well, that was
awesome.
the thing that I feel like I was struggling with too when we were like first talking about doing this whole thing. Was I feel like, you know, one of the biggest things I preach is like this idea of like body normalcy, and you don't have to be one certain size, shape, figure, whatever, in order to like be beautiful and whatnot. And I didn't want people to think that because I was like losing a lot of weight and starting a whole new regimen and routine that I was like straying from that. I think it's also just like you being the best version of yourself at the same time. And I feel like I wasn't. And I feel like now I'm back to a place that I was a couple years ago. Yeah. When I was, you know, working out consistently and eating well and all that. But I still loved my body before. Like I had no problem with it, but I do definitely feel better in the body that I have now. So yeah.
When Natalie started her journey, the first like 2 weeks, she didn't drop a single pound of weight.
Yeah.
Were you sticking to everything, the diet, the exercise?
Yeah. No, I mean, I think I went harder in the first 2 weeks than I have like ever. Oh wow. I was really, and that was when I was peak
and when I say
motivation.
like the scale didn't move,
like not even a
to
point
the decimal point.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would have her take photos every day of her weight, and I would just be like, "What the fuck is happening?" Right. I'd be so confused. I'd be like, "Is she like eating pasta behind my back?" And like, I just don't know.
I remember we did Runyon, and then at the end of Runyon, you like pulled me aside on like the corner of the street, and you were like, "Dead ass, you're not breaking anything." And I was like,
I was so concerned. I was like, "What's happening? It's not working."
Did you cheat at all, like behind his back?
I definitely have cheated a couple times, but nothing like insane. You know, like I might have had like a cookie or a piece of cake at like a dinner or something.
The thing that like Natalie has on her side is that she can limit herself when she does take a bite of pizza or like have a cookie. Like she won't indulge in it. Like if that was me, I mean, you know, now like I'd go fucking, I mean, I just had a whole bag of fucking rice cakes upstairs. Like, so like I can't have, it's a problem, but I can't have one and just enjoy it. Like she can, which is such a huge plus.
I think your self-control and the way that you've handled this entire 4 months was incredibly healthy, and I've seen you like indulge and enjoy stuff as it was happening, but then you still stayed focused, and I thought that was very impressive.
That's the most important thing in someone's diet to make it sustainable, is to be able to do that, right? So like have balance in what you're doing. So if it's eating a cookie, it's not eating 10, right? It's like or like if you do cheat a little too much, then you just get back on track the next day.
Yeah.
You did that so well. Like when we had that world's largest pizza, and I was like, "Are you gonna have any?" And you're like, "Yeah, of course." And you had it with ranch, and you were enjoying it. And I was so happy to see, because you looked like you were doing so well throughout the entire process, and you were still enjoying what you wanted. And I thought that was really, really cool. Yeah.
I mean, I think honestly, before, and it's funny because the reason I got to this point too was like, I knew in the back of my head that like every time that I would order Taco Bell at 3:00 or just eat, you know, like pizza or whatever. And I would do that like every day. Like I would just eat, like, I'm surprised I honestly didn't gain more weight during the past like 2 years than I have. Cause we travel so much, especially when we travel, I'm eating everything cause I want to try everything. And when we came back from our most recent trip in Europe, I was just kind of like at my breaking point, I feel like, where I was like, okay, I feel different, I look different, and I don't like want to feel like this all the time. And then I texted Ilia. We joked about it in Europe, and he was like, okay, we'll see you when we get back. And then I texted him the day we got back, and I was like, let's work out, like, let's do this for real. And then we got into it. But even after like 2 weeks of just having my clean diet, the feeling that I felt, now I don't even know what that feeling is like, but I just used to walk around like so bloated and like in my skin because I was just eating shit. And it tasted really good and I loved it. But like at the same time afterwards, I would just feel like crap and I would be tired and like have no energy. And it just wasn't like a healthy way to like live life, you know?
What foods do you miss?
It's funny because I feel like I've had all the foods that I love, like in such moderation. Like I've had my Dave's hot chicken sandwich. I've had pasta, you know, every so often or whatever, that I don't really necessarily miss one thing. I think I've eaten like all of the same things. I mean, I limit myself, of course, during the week, but like on the weekend, I'll go have like pancakes with Todd at the diner or something, you know, like it's not anything crazy. I haven't told Ilia about the pancakes, but.
Yeah, I was gonna ask what happened. What was that?
We tempted John in my house with a cake.
Oh yeah.
We left it on the island, and Ilia was hiding behind the couch, filming him, trying to see if he would sneak a piece.
Yeah.
And he was thinking about it. He walked over to it like 3 times and like scoped it out, like he was like about to rob a place.
Yeah. No, I'm definitely not like that. Like I can like see it and like be okay. Unless I really want to bite, I'll have a bite. But
yeah,
I'll be like good. I remember seeing that video and John like walked past it like wide-eyed, like would like hesitate towards
dude, that was
cake.
a wild moment.
It's so interesting how much of an effect food has on our mental.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
It's really insane.
Yeah.
And how much it really does control your life.
Totally.
To a certain extent.
I feel like too now, like I used to get so hangry, and I feel like that was because of like what I was having in my diet, right? Like I would have a lot of sugar, a lot of carbs, and then when I would like crash and not have, like I would eat a lot and then not have it, and then I would get really, really hungry again, or during that time frame, I would just get really hangry all the time. And now it's like I've trained myself to not, you know, have to like eat carbs or like eat a bunch of shit to feel better, you know?
Yeah.
Is there anything that you're surprised about your body that you like found out about yourself throughout this? Like for me, when I lost a lot of weight, I wasn't able to hike Fryman. I had to take 2 breaks, and I thought that was crazy. And then like
after you lost the weight?
No, in the beginning.
Oh.
I had to take 2 breaks, and then at the end of it, I was able to sprint the entire thing.
Oh, well,
Yeah,
dude.
yeah.
Okay, yeah. Okay, you want to talk about it?
Yeah. Well, my 2 biggest goals is one, my body fat percentage, and the other being to run a 6.5 minute mile.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. And I've never done that before in my life, even when I was like in peak high school soccer, college soccer shape. And I probably wasn't trying my hardest back then either, because I didn't really care. I didn't have that goal in mind. I was like, as long as I would get like a 7-minute mile or something. So to do 6.5 is like a really big feat. And I'm almost there. I think the last mile I ran was like on the track was like a 7.5 minute mile. I've done like a 6:55 mile since then, but we didn't record it, so it doesn't count. But yeah, that's one of my big things. And I'm honestly shocked that I even am at a 7.5 minute mile, because that's literally what I would run in high school.
Right.
Which is crazy, because I was a lot smaller, a lot more fit. I was working out every single day.
You were playing soccer.
Yeah, playing soccer, and I was just, 16 years old. It's just like a totally different body here, but yeah, that's one of my big goals. So working on that one still, but
yeah,
soon.
we got to get that done, man.
I know.
We only got 2 weeks.
I know.
We got to get it done. But that's going to be such a cool moment. Because that's very difficult to pull off.
Yeah, it's incredible.
So hard.
I see you sprinting on the treadmill in your stories, and I think it's so cool. It makes me want to go do a hike. I haven't done it, but
yeah, no, it's gonna be challenging for sure. And I did the math on it too, so I can like when I'm training not on a track, when I'm on the treadmill, and it's running a mile at speed 9 for the entire mile.
Really?
Yeah, that's what a 6.5 minute mile is.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah, it's really crazy.
Here's the thing, though. First off, it is crazy, but when you run quicker on the treadmill and or the track, you're taking less steps, so obviously you're getting there faster, so like even though you are going faster, you're in a way you're not exerting less energy, but like you're
more natural with it.
No, that's not what I'm trying to say. It's just like, yeah, I guess more natural. Like you just fucking do it. I don't know how to really explain it, but like when you're going that fast all out, it's not like this like 5 pace, like you're just like, fuck, I hate this.
Yeah.
Like it's like you're like really going at it.
Right. With John, you dropped Zila. With Heath, you dropped Java chip, protein flavor.
Yep.
Are you concocting anything up together?
Actually,
really?
We are.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So this has never been talked about before. Not sure if this will be released by the time this podcast is released, but we're doing an ashwagandha gummy. What that means, in layman terms, if people don't know what ashwagandha is.
Yeah, explain it to us.
Ashwagandha.
I've never heard of this.
Nat, I'll let
Really?
you.
You've never heard of ashwagandha?
No.
I'll let you take the floor
Okay.
because it was it was Natalie's idea.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I mean, I love the protein powders and I love the protein shakes, but I felt like that's not something that I'm always having like naturally in my diet or regimen routine. And I thought my mom and I are very into like natural supplements and vitamins and things like that. And ashwagandha is something that like it helps like in recovery or just like energy, just like cure, like
relieve stress.
Yeah. Like helps to regulate like your blood flow and like make you sort of like eat more even pace. It's good for like, for like rest and relaxation and recovery and all that. And it's also just like a really hot supplement right now. Like I feel like they're always, there's always things that you hear about that for people to take for certain things and whatnot. And ashwagandha was already something that I had and was taking naturally.
Oh, wow.
And I thought it'd be cute to like make it into a gummy. So we're making a little ashwagandha gummy.
Oh, that's sick.
Yeah, it's really good. It's cherry flavor, and it'll be good.
Yeah, you'll get it in your PR package.
I'm getting one?
Well, actually, no. Hold on. I'll just give you one at the house.
Are you kidding me?
Have you ever gotten a Zila like PR package properly or no?
No, I haven't, because Bella dropped one off and said we need it back.
Yeah, well,
That's
dude,
funny.
you're part of the company. You got to fucking make the sacrifice.
Are you surprised that I'm a part owner in Team Zila?
I just found out about this like a week ago, and I
Pretty
was
sick, right?
I was shocked. I was like, "What?"
Yeah, everyone's so confused. They're like, "Wait, are you fucking with us?" I was like, "Nope."
Yeah, everyone thought it was a joke.
Use it over.
Well, it's good for you, Joe. You're a little businessman over there.
I know, I'm crushing it. That's so cool, though. I'm excited for the gummy, and I can't wait to try it.
Yeah, it'll be good. It'll be really good.
We're also doing a 8-week challenge of the first Zila Fitness challenge. Also launching January 3rd.
And what is that?
So, what that is we're releasing for purchase an 8-week training regimen. Okay, you have a chance to sign up for that 8-week challenge, and we pick at the end one winner that gets $10,000.
Oh, wow.
And again, how it works is you buy this program, right? Price is to be determined. You enter your information, you submit like the before, and then you submit the after, and then we choose who has the best transformation.
Wow.
And that's a multitude of variables, right? So body fat percentage, weight, muscle gain, etc.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
And again, it's the first one, and week by week, like we'll be there with you because it's what Natalie did. Like that's kind of what we want to show is like if you guys want to transform, like Natalie transform, follow this program, and the winner gets the $10,000.
Yeah, I think like the two most common things, I'm sure Zila gets this too, but that I get in my DMs is like, what are your workouts and what are you eating?
Right.
So obviously the meal plan is something here in LA that's like really curated and whatnot, but the workouts are something that we can show
but there
other
will be
people.
nutrition advice, in that workout regimen. It's going to be an ebook, so you can download it to your iPhone, like read it. But yeah, it'll have nutrition advice and the workout program, so we're excited for that too.
Did you cut down on much alcohol to help you?
Not really.
You stayed the same?
Well, no, I wouldn't say that. I mean, you definitely watched like.
I I definitely was more mindful of it, but I would still go out and drink on the weekends with my friends. Maybe I wouldn't drink as much, and I wouldn't. The thing that I would do is I would just do a different type of drink. Like I would just do like tequila on the rocks instead of doing like some sort of fruity cocktail with a bunch of stuff in it.
Sugary.
Yeah.
I remember Natalie texted me one time because I have her send me photos of what she drank and eating.
Okay.
And she sent me a photo one time of an espresso martini, and she's like, I'm drinking an espresso martini, and she thought it was low calories, and I was like, bro. That thing has 400 calories in it. She's like, what? It's just espresso. I'm like, yeah, but look it up, man. So like, don't be fooled, man. Some drinks are fucking deadly, like super sugary, super high in calories. Yeah.
What was the difference for you, Mr. Only trained men before, now you're doing a woman?
Honestly, again, it was just the fact that men and women lose their weight and lose their body fat differently, right?
Yeah.
And just like very, very different time frames. So I was just like shocked how I guess I don't mean to say this in a mean way, but like how long it took for you to drop, you know. But here's the thing, like even though you weren't dropping that much weight, you were still dropping body fat and gaining muscle, you know.
I feel like women also just like carry fat and water and things differently. So like I feel like my body probably went into like shock, right? And like was just retaining water. That's my theory. I don't know. And I feel like also like around that time of the month, like my body, most women, but like my body just fluctuates and does different things. And
at the end of the day, like everyone is actually different.
Yeah.
You know, like all of our metabolisms are different. All of our bodies are different. We're all built differently. So just because it happened to you doesn't mean it's going to happen to the next person.
Right.
Or maybe it'll take a month for the next person to see any change. So it's not all uniform.
Yeah.
Did you do any fun bonding experiences together to help grow you?
Define fun, Joe. Did we do bonding experiences? Yes.
Did you guys spend more time outside the gym together?
I always joked. Ilia would literally text me like every weekend, like different activities. Like it started out with like boxing, which now I do like twice a week or whatever.
But then in Ilia fashion, it grows into like
a multitude of activities. And I would reference, I'd go back to like Heath and John's, and like Heath went to like Europe with the friends or whatever. And I was like, why am I going to the fucking Sequoia National Forest to sleep in a tent with you for like 2 days? That was my
pretty
activity.
fun though.
I mean, it was fun. I do love camping. I think that Ilia's organization communication skills when it came to the activities was a little
I'm working on it.
subpar.
I'm working on it.
I didn't even know this podcast was happening today. you just threw it in our calendars and it's at 10 a.m.
Yeah, I was sitting in bed. I looked at my calendar. I was like, oh my, wait, do I have to be at your guys' house in 5 minutes? And then Joe was like, no. And I was like, it's in my calendar.
Hey man, we made it happen. That's what counts.
We're here now. Yeah.
What happened in Sequoia?
You know, the first night was great. We got to camp. Nobody knew how to set up a tent. So they were all like, oh yeah, you know how to set up a tent? Yeah, right. And I was like, yeah, bro, I went to camp for like 7 years. Every summer I know how to set up a tent. And so I set up all their tents and we made the fire. We collected
She cooked
wood.
us food.
I cooked everybody food.
On the fire?
On the fire.
What'd you make?
Just steak, chicken, veggies,
Ooh,
simple stuff, and some s'mores.
Mm-hmm.
And then we woke up the next morning. We were going to do hikes. There's a lot of beautiful hikes and whatnot. And I'm clearing out the car, like Ilia's car, so we can all fit into one. There's 5 of us. I'm like, we don't need to take 2 cars. And I start taking stuff out and putting it in Todd's car. And Ilia's like, why are you taking everything out of the car? And I was like, so we can all fit in the car. And he's
I love
like,
how Natalie makes fun of my voice. It's so funny.
because you like Mr. Macho Man.
Yeah, see.
Do it again.
And then I'm taking stuff out of the car, and Ilia goes, why are you taking stuff out of the car? And I was like, so we can all fit in it together, so we can drive to the hike. And he's like, we're not driving to the hike. As he's lacing up his sneakers, he's like, we're gonna walk there.
It's an 8-mile run. Do it.
You know? And I was
it turns
like,
out the hike was an hour away.
an hour
driving.
drive. An hour drive. I was like, you idiot. Just because we were in the middle of the forest doesn't mean the beautiful hikes are just right across the road, you know?
Yeah.
And then we get to the hike. It gets better. We get to the hike. We're all in the car, whatever. It's all great. We get to the hike, and it's 4.5 miles up to the peak of the waterfall. And this was
that's
like
a long one.
It's a long one. Yeah.
Like a 2-mile one's like but like a 4-mile one?
4.5. Actually, it was like more like 5.
Well, yeah. It wasn't supposed to be more like 5. We did 4, right? And we get to the sign that says like Mist Falls, and it's the beautiful waterfall, and this is like the scenic point that you get to, right?
He got you lost, huh?
And no.
Worse.
Yeah, worse. He was like, we passed the sign. I thought it was weird that we passed the sign. We just kept going. And we get to a point now, and then I'm like getting tired and annoyed. It's starting, like the sun's starting to drop. I was like, I'm going to sit here and wait until you realize you can't go any further, and I'll just wait for you to get back. And I sit there for like maybe 15 minutes or whatever, and I hear the little footsteps coming back down the mountain. And I was like, oh yeah, what'd you find? And he was like, yeah, it probably goes for another like 5 miles. And it gets like pretty vertical. And I was like, yeah, no shit. And then along the way, we hadn't gotten like the camera shots yet, like drone footage and just like really sick shots. But I'm like, I've had it at this point. Like we're like 5.5 miles up the mountain. We have to go 5.5 back down the fucking mountain.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah, it was ridiculous. Ridiculous. And
you gotta find loops. They're easier.
And then we have to like keep stopping. And my contingency, I was like, if you don't talk to me the rest of the way down the mountain, I will do these final shots. So we did the shots and we didn't speak the rest of the way down.
Yeah, yeah, she was mad. She was mad, man.
And he like the thing was, he also like, or had like prior to this, he wanted to do like multiple hikes. And I was like, I don't think you understand what hiking a 10-mile like trail is on a mountainside.
In the sequoia forest.
Yeah, in the middle of nowhere, no cell service. Like you don't get from our campsite, you have to drive an hour and a half out to get cell service. Like there's like, if anything happens to us, there's nothing. There's no running water. There's no electricity. There's no nothing.
It's a really funny bit in the doc of Natalie and I bickering when she did her beach run. It's the funniest shit ever.
Really?
It's the funniest shit ever. Yeah, it's just like shows like what our relationship was throughout the entire documentary. It was really good. It was really good. But, you know, we did it. Or almost did it. We're almost there. But you've done really well so far.
Yeah. Thanks.
Okay, guys. Thank you again for listening to Lightweights. Nat, thanks for coming on. Again, congratulations.
Congrats
Almost.
on everything.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Lightweights.
Oh!
Really is hot.